Hi guys, I'm back with a new video. Vikram, welcome again.
Hi.
First of all, Happy New Year.
Thank you.
And probably can greet our audience as well.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah. So recently I made a video about top 5 things to watch for in 2024 about Hyderabad real estate. So after that video, I got a lot of calls.
Right.
Okay. A lot of investors with a lot of perceptions. So there is a lady, I won't take her name. She called and said, Saurabh, I'm willing to buy, I have money, but I'm scared. Will it become half? That's what her thought process was. One guy said, Pharmacity is gone. What will happen to Hyderabad? Revan Reddy is the next CM. He is not as great as our previous chief minister was. So a lot of people have a lot of perception, thoughts, and immediately I see they are not so optimistic about Hyderabad real estate. So I completely understand that. That's the current atmosphere. But in 2024, how it is going to be, first thing, and which factors really impact real estate as a whole, and specifically we'll talk about Hyderabad city. Right? So that's the topic today.
Okay.
So to start with the question again, what do you think, how will be Hyderabad real estate in this year? Okay, and what are the major factors which will impact? Right, so I'll start with that.
We are in the new year. It's a good time to reflect on what happened in the previous year and have a forecast about the coming year. I remember at the beginning of 2023, we did a video on how to look at Hyderabad real estate and which areas to watch out for. And that video got a great response. Mainly, if I have to reflect on real estate, particularly Hyderabad real estate in 2023, I would say that from a developer's point of view, I'm talking as a businessman, from a developer's point of view, definitely the sector has entered a sluggish phase. It began sometime from April, May 2023, and then with the announcement of the elections and the election code kicking in, the sluggishness was further aggravated. And after the election results were declared, this sluggishness continued. Particularly, a lot of people were expecting that if the incumbent government then comes back to power, then it will improve the situation. These were the sort of expectations that a lot of people had.
True.
But democracy is what it is. There's a new government in power now. And after that, the real estate market has not really improved. It's been only 1 month after the new government has taken over. But the sluggishness continues in the sector. But I just want to clarify, when I say sluggishness, I do not mean any type of price reduction.
Yeah, that's a very important point here to consider.
Yes.
So sluggishness doesn't mean that prices will become half.
No. I think it's very important to clarify here when we use the word sluggishness, or when we say sluggish market. Please understand that this sluggishness in sales actually started in March. March, April onwards, we have been seeing some amount of sluggishness in the sector, particularly in the segment that we are in, open plots and this sort of market. What we mean is that the volume of transactions has somewhat come down.
Yes.
The volume of transactions has come down. That is what we are calling sluggishness. But then nowhere is there any evidence to say that the prices have reduced in the last 1 year. So 2023 was an year wherein sales were a bit slow for companies, but the prices remained strong.
That's true. Yeah, I have not heard of anyone reducing prices for sure. But yeah, sales numbers have went down definitely. That's a fact. Okay, so now let's talk about what do you think are the factors which are contributing for the sales numbers to come down. Let's talk specific.
Okay.
So indirectly what we are saying is demand is becoming less.
Right. Okay. Correct.
Because numbers are down, demand is becoming less. So what are these factors which is creating this less demand?
See, majorly, what comes to my mind is in his 1992 election campaign, the American president Bill Clinton used a very popular phrase. It goes something like, "It's the economy, stupid." Okay, so I want to use that phrase. It has nothing to do with any local conditions. So what has been happening, real estate in Hyderabad actually whatever happens in real estate of Hyderabad or any other place or any other sector for that matter are all interconnected to the larger macroeconomic environment. So 2023 has been the year, if you follow pink papers, the business newspapers, 2023 has been the year of poor macroeconomic environment all over the world.
Okay, can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so when I say poor macroeconomic environment, there are certain factors that immediately come to my mind. Okay, one is the US Fed key policy rates.
Okay.
Right? So, just I don't want to explain this in an elaborate fashion, but the tendency in 2023 has been for the central banks of various central banks of various countries to tighten their monetary policies.
Yeah.
When I say tighten their monetary policies, for a layman, just understand that your loans are going to get expensive.
So they want people to take less loans.
Something like that. They want less money in circulation in the economy. There are several reasons for this. Actually, a lot of countries adopted very easy money policies during the COVID pandemic, which meant that they pumped a lot of currency into their economies. Now comes the time, 2023 was the year wherein various central governments were sucking back this currency from circulation. So as a result of this, you see that the US Fed's key policy rates have been rising tremendously. In fact, in December 2023, they reached a 22-year high. In the last 22 years, that is the highest rate. The US Fed is actually the equivalent of Reserve Bank of India in United States of America. And there's a famous quote saying that when the US Fed sneezes, the world catches flu. That's what they say. So this has drastic multi-level impacts on all the countries across the globe. All right. From the point of view of a typical watcher, typical viewer of your channel, what it would mean is that the companies where you are working, the managements of these companies are finding it very difficult to raise capital.
Through loans. Because loan interest rate is becoming expensive.
Yeah, whether through loans or in a very complex way, either through bonds debt instruments, or this is
any kind of debt.
Any kind of debt. They are finding it very difficult to raise cheap loans. So, see, we run a company. When we cannot get enough capital, what do? We cut short our operations. When we cut short our operations, we don't hire new people. We might even fire some people, right?
Very true.
So, this sort of a panic had set in the global economy, and 2023 was the year for that. The year for tight monetary policy.
So, less recruitment, less hiring, less hike.
Correct.
Yeah, because of high interest rates.
High interest rates in the US economy.
Yeah.
And there is a direct impact of this on the Indian economy as well. Because when the US raises its key interest rates, the RBI also has to raise its repo rate. Okay, now why? That is a broader theory. It is related to the exchange rates, and it is related to balance of payments and so on and so forth, right? So you will see that RBI also has been very aggressive in increasing its repo rate.
When so this interest rate as well for us, loans.
Just understand it as a number which tells you what is the cost of your loan.
Yes, so your EMI is increasing every month.
Exactly. If you are a retail borrower, your EMI is increasing. If you are a corporate borrower, if you are a company, you want to expand operations and you want to borrow something, you are not getting easy funds. Right? This is the situation. All right. So high inflation in both US economy and Indian economy, followed by tight monetary policies, has created a very constricted environment for both businesses as well as people.
Yeah, so I'll summarize what he is trying to say in simple language. So what I understand is, because in a city like Hyderabad, which is majorly dependent on IT, especially people who invest in real estate, majority of them come from IT as well as a lot of NRIs. So what I understand is, because of lack of loans, high interest rate, companies are not taking loans, so they are not expanding, so they are not hiring, and they are not giving much hikes because of, and EMI is getting expensive, so they don't have enough savings.
Correct.
Okay, and obviously companies of the US hire a lot of Indians.
Yeah.
So they are not increasing their salary as well.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, and their EMI is also increasing. So they don't have enough savings.
Correct.
to invest.
Correct. No, the point is the following. So let me imagine that I'm working in some multinational IT.
Yeah, you work in Microsoft.
Say I work in Microsoft, right? So what is happening is that I was expecting that my salary would rise by 10 or 20% during this year.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, number one. And I'm watching that my company is actually downsizing.
Yes. So you're scared.
I'm scared that whether I will lose my job or whether I will keep it 6 months down the line.
So
I'm feeling insecure with respect to my job. Number 3, I had last year, because my salary was increasing rapidly, I had borrowed 1.5 crore rupees to buy a flat in a gated community.
You have to pay EMI and it's increasing.
I have to pay EMI. And when I borrowed, it was at some 7% or 7.5%. Now the bank is demanding that I pay it 9.5%.
Yeah.
And so the percentage of my salary that is going for EMI would be rising, isn't it?
Insecurity of job, salary is not rising,
your EMI is
increasing.
And on top of it, your essentials are becoming more expensive because the inflation is rising in the economy.
Yeah.
You're paying more for fuel, you're paying more to eat, so on and so forth. So what this has done is that it has put the retail investor, who is the major investor in, let us say, flats and villas and commercial spaces and open plots, they are feeling the heat, and this heat is what translates as sluggishness in the market.
Yeah. So they are waiting and watching. They are assuming that things will settle down. Once I feel secure about my job,
exactly,
my salary increases, I'll invest.
Exactly.
Jaldi nahi hai abhi.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there is something called as a domino effect, Saurabh. That is what you have to understand. Let us say if a critically large number of people are feeling pessimistic about a certain situation, then those who are not actually part of that situation also start feeling pessimistic.
Yeah, true.
Because the word spreads, isn't it?
True. So people who have savings also, because of the guy who doesn't have savings,
exactly,
or who is at the verge of losing his job, because of him they become pessimistic.
Exactly. So generally what happens is that this negativity spreads very quickly, but it also subsides quickly. We have seen this, it's a cyclical thing. Okay, this negativity spreads and subsides somewhat relatively quickly. It's not going to be very long lasted, right? But generally the situation is that the middle class, or let us say the upper middle class, is feeling a bit insecure, and their economic condition has somewhat tightened. It has worsened a bit.
Yeah.
Which is why we see kind of sluggishness in real estate of Hyderabad. So this is at the bottom. This is the most fundamental thing. It has
no one talks about. And everyone feels it, but they're not able to express exactly the way we have done.
Exactly. So everybody feels it because it's their lived experience.
So they are feeling insecure basically. And they don't want to risk their whole of their investments or their, I would say, their savings.
So whenever we feel insecure, the economic tendency is to be safe and to hoard cash.
Yes, to save the money instead of investing.
Exactly. You don't care that money is not increasing. You don't care that the real value of that money is decreasing because of inflation. What you want to do is that you want to hoard that cash, and you do not want to take that decision to invest it somewhere.
Because you think of worst case scenario, what if I lose my job? I should have 1 year of my savings.
Exactly. And you don't feel optimistic.
Yes.
Okay, so investment is always, it happens when you are feeling optimistic that not right now, but 1 year down the line also I am safe.
Yes.
So that
you feel optimistic and you feel you have extra cash which you can shed.
Exactly.
Which is not going to create impact in your life.
Exactly. So that optimism is on the downturn right now, and that is why we see that there is some sluggishness in real estate market.
Yes, and as you rightly said, this has a direct impact of the macroeconomics.
Exactly. It has
because
nothing
of the
to do.
Fed rate, eventually salary is not increasing. So that is something we have.
It has nothing to do with Revant Reddy, KCR, KTR, Narendra Modi. It has nothing to do with any of them. It has to do with the global macroeconomic conditions.
So Fed is sneezing basically. And we all got cold.
Exactly.
Right. So that's one very interesting data point to address. Second thing, anything else which you think?
So
it's a very broad thing. So we talked about the bottom, topmost thing. So now, what are other things? What are the other factors?
So the other factor is that definitely something that we have to watch out for. The first thing that I told you was that if you are interested in real estate, look at how the macroeconomic condition is panning out, because 2024 is the year of elections in both US as well as India.
So do you think things will get better?
See, what happens is that whenever there is an impending election, both in US as well as India, the governments try to ensure that people are feeling a bit optimistic. So you will definitely see that rates will fall in the next 3 months.
Interest rates will fall.
Yeah, the key rates will
The
fall.
repo rate, yeah, okay.
Okay, so this will happen, but whether this fall will be long lived and whether it is fundamentally sustainable, that we have to see after the election is over. But definitely you will see that in the next few months, definitely these rates will fall, interest rates will fall, EMIs will get loans will get cheaper. These things will happen. Okay, so please watch out for how the macroeconomic indicators are developing. The second thing that you have to watch out for is your Telangana state budget.
So it's due on February.
Yeah, it's going to be in February, March sometime. There is going to be the Telangana state budget, and in this budget, the thing that you have to watch out for is, please compare the previous 3-4 budgets and compare this year's budget. Okay. See, a strategic investor does not go emotionally, right? It does not matter whether KCR is in power or Mr. Revanth Reddy is in power. What matters is how much money they are spending and where.
Yes.
So the infrastructure spending of the state government, okay, you need to watch out for this metric. If it so turns out that the infrastructure spending by the new government is on par with the previous budgets as a percentage of the state GDP, then it is a positive news for real estate.
Yeah, so infrastructure means bridges,
roads,
your
metro roads, this sort of things.
Yeah.
Okay, so please watch out for the state budget and their infrastructure spending. So if you see tomorrow that the infrastructure spending has not declined greatly, okay, so then you can be a bit sure that whatever momentum there was to the Hyderabad real estate, because a lot of this momentum has to do with excellent infrastructure that was created in the last 5 years.
Very true.
Right?
Yeah.
So if the infrastructure spending is not cut, then I think it's an extremely positive sign. But on the other hand, if it is drastically cut, then it means that this sluggishness, the chances of this sluggishness continuing would be higher.
Spend on infrastructure by the state government.
Correct.
That is something to watch for. Okay. Third point, what do you think? What are the factors?
The third thing that comes to my mind is with respect to the CentreState Relations. See, 2023 was the year, because I was very, not just me, it was being widely expected that work on regional ring road will begin by the end of 2022.
Yes.
So 2023 is actually entirely a wasted year in terms of a mega infrastructure project like the regional ring road. Now, why did that happen? Mainly because the state government and central government were on war path. Okay, so it is purely because of this, because there were no other technical disagreements to the best of my knowledge. It was purely because the relationships were very sour and bitter. These projects didn't take up, and there are a few other projects like this. Okay, for example, if we want metro expansion also, it's always really great if the central government chips in with some funds.
Definitely.
Okay, so one positive development is that within the 1 month that this new government came to power, relations with the governor, relations with the union cabinet ministers, with the prime minister, at least symbolically, it seems that this new regime is trying to mend these relations.
At least काम निकालने के लिए, to get their work done.
Exactly. We don't.
Congress and BJP definitely they cannot become best friends, but at least it looks like he's trying to.
No, I mean it's extremely positive from my limited point of view that many state ministers and the chief minister himself, they travel to Delhi, and they also, it is from Delhi that the minister announced that they are going to start the regional ring road work, so on and so forth. Okay? So please watch out for amicable, cordial relations between the center and state. If it so happens that they do not have any major public spats, and it appears that they are getting along together, definitely it will help the infrastructure of
the regional ring road especially. See,
those who are negative, they might say anything, because it is my view that definitely somebody who is very negative and who has also the time to write extremely long negative comments on YouTube videos, I don't think they are really the ones who are looking to invest.
Very true, very true.
Okay, the ones who are looking to invest are the ones who are very quietly observing, right?
True, yeah.
So I'm speaking only to them.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
please quietly observe if the regional ring road project begins.
Yes.
Okay, don't worry about what people are saying, because if the regional ring road project does take off, all right, it is going to definitely increase prices
Definitely.
in the open plots market.
Yeah, see,
Okay.
we saw outer ring road and the impact which has created, outer ring road has created.
Definitely.
So regional ring road and the link roads between regional and outer
No,
are
it
definitely
is.
going to create a lot of impact.
We cannot even imagine what
Yeah.
is going to be the impact. Okay, so naysayers would say that, oh no, we are just trying to create a positive environment, but definitely regional ring road, when it becomes a reality, when I say reality, the work has to start on the ground.
Very true,
okay,
very
because the National Highway Authorities of India has been doing an exceptionally good job in quickly finishing projects.
Very true.
Right? So please watch out for amicable, cordial center-state relations, and whether key projects like the regional ring road will take off, and whether center is coming forward to contribute to key projects, infrastructural projects like the Hyderabad Metro or various NIMS projects that are announced all over. So this is also going to play a key role.
Very true.
Because if these projects do take off, it is going to improve the sentiment in real estate market.
Very true. Very true. Yeah.
Okay. Then also something that we were speaking about a few days back, that is with respect to overcrowding in the sector.
Very true. Very true.
Okay, now what I mean by overcrowding is that when the market is doing well, like it was in the last 4 or 5 years, all sorts of people enter the sector.
Yeah.
I call them tin pot companies. Okay, a tin pot company is a company which does not have any strategic plan. They don't have any organization. They have some capital, or they have convinced someone to invest in their company, and without much experience they have launched some projects. So most of these projects have entered the sector, and we are definitely going to, I am expecting that many of these informal fly-by-night operators will exit the sector.
Many of them already exited.
Many of them have exited. They are in debts. They are in very big problem.
Big problems. Yes.
They have very poor cash management skills. They have very poor strategic planning. So this happens in any sector. When the sector is doing really well, all sorts of people want a share of it and they enter.
Very true.
Right. So definitely watch out for this trend, which I think is going to come true the next year, is that inventory will reduce.
Yes.
Okay, the number of people who are going to offer products in the real estate sector will definitely increase, and particularly it will decrease, and this decrease will be first noticed in the open plots market.
Very true. So a lot of plotting ventures already, and as you said, rightly said, a lot of fly-by-night operators are operating here.
Yeah.
And obviously right now, from last 6 months even I'm observing.
Yeah.
So many of them are in big issues.
Correct.
So you will definitely see them going out, but the problem is the investors will get stuck.
Exactly.
So that's one issue, but that happens.
Yeah.
When there is a bull run like this. So I think that is something which is a problem. But yeah, definitely you will see inventory reducing.
I'm expecting that it will reduce.
Yeah, going ahead, inventory will reduce, and obviously good inventory and people who are looking to buy, that matchup will eventually happen. Yeah. So that's another point. So anything else which we think is again going to contribute to Hyderabad real estate in this year?
Very broadly, the last point that comes to my mind very broadly is that, why is there this demand in Hyderabad real estate? All of us know that Hyderabad real estate has been doing really, really well.
Yes.
Okay, so but why? Okay, because to my mind, it is in the last 10 to 15 years that Hyderabad has transitioned from being a sleepy small town into a metropolitan center.
Chota bacha bada ho gaya.
Exactly. It is because of this that suddenly there is a jump.
Yeah, definitely.
See, if you see the absolute prices, they are not very high in Hyderabad.
Very true. Very true.
The sector is performing well because compared to last 15 years, the rate of growth has been tremendous.
So I'll summarize what you're trying to say. So Hyderabad has reached to the range of Mumbai, Delhi and Bangalore.
Correct.
And right now we are trying to compete with them.
Exactly.
इससे पहले Hyderabad was a small town.
Right.
Just Telangana, Andhra, people used to come and have good time here. But no, the whole globe is looking at Hyderabad.
Exactly.
A lot of IT companies and lot of North Indians, they prefer Hyderabad over Bangalore right now.
Exactly. So the transition has happened in the last 10-15 years. That is why these 10-15 years have been somewhat mind-boggling in terms of the rate of growth.
Yeah, per square feet and per square
Exactly.
area. But still, if you compare, we are still cheaper than Mumbai.
Absolute
Gurgaon
Prices are
and
cheaper.
Bangalore. Yes.
So what I am trying to tell you is
But
that
comparing Hyderabad with Hyderabad, definitely there is a lot of change. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to tell you is that this is brand Hyderabad right now. Okay. So the fate of real estate product pricing depends upon whether Hyderabad can
Sustain the branding. Exactly. Yeah.
So this is again related to so many other factors. For example, law and order, the extremely liberal, cosmopolitan and multicultural environment of Hyderabad. We are very accepting. Okay, we are very accepting of Ganga Jamuna ki tehzeeb. That is what they say. We are very accepting of other cultures, other people. So Hyderabad has that very nice brand image.
Very true.
Okay, if this gets sustained over a period of time, definitely when the macroeconomic climate improves, again this market will start running. That is what I feel.
Very true. Very true.
So I'm just hoping. I mean, the point I'm trying to make is that there should not be any untoward incidents like some conflicts, political uncertainties, this sort of things.
So this has again to do with the government change.
Exactly.
Because brand Hyderabad was really built quite well in the last 10 years.
Yes.
And I think Congress has the responsibility to safeguard it.
Yes.
In fact, grow it.
Yes.
So that is something we have to really look for. And
Yes.
this is the year we have to check that.
Exactly.
If this happens, then it will continue for next 5 years.
Exactly.
Right. So summarize these 5 points again, Vikram, if you can just quickly summarize.
Yeah. So what I said was that
First is
macroeconomic environment. It was a bit bad in 2023. Chances are that it will improve in 2024. Watch out for those metrics.
Yes.
Number one. Number two, watch out for the Telangana state budget and look at the infrastructure spending as a percentage of the GSDP. And if it does not fall drastically, then it's good news.
Very true.
All right. Number three is watch out for the center-state relationship and how some of these projects like Hyderabad Metro and Regional Ring Road, which are critically dependent on union government support, how these projects are panning out.
Very true.
Okay. Number four, watch out for reduction in inventory. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Yeah.
If the inventory reduces, it's a good thing. All right. So watch out for a lot of people exiting the space and some inventory being reduced in the coming 1 year. Fourth, watch out for
last one. Yeah.
Fifth one is that you have to bet on the brand image of Hyderabad and watch out for stability and continuation of the previous work that was done, and if that happens, it's a good thing for real estate in Hyderabad.
Right. Yeah, so I think very nicely put, Vikram. Thank you so much.
My
okay,
pleasure.
so we have discussed, I think, quite elaboratively in this video.
Yeah.
In the last video, I was very specific.
Yeah.
Talking about areas and very Telangana, Hyderabad specific thoughts is what I've shared.
Right.
But today you have given a holistic view.
Right.
Comparing from the macroeconomics till the brand Hyderabad. So it makes a lot of sense. So
there's just one more thing I want to add. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
One more thing I want to add is that, see, there are two types of investors, right? One is a momentum investor. That is, they enter the market when the prices are rising and they see that, okay, prices are rising, so let me enter at a particular point and exit later on. Traders. Okay, then there are strategic investors. So what these momentum investors do is that they only enter a rising market.
Very true.
Okay, but there are strategic investors who enter at any point of time, but they are very specific about what product they are buying and at what price they are buying. Okay,
and they know when to exit also.
They know when to exit, when to enter. So see, when the market is sluggish, it means that you are in a buyer's market.
Very true.
Okay, so you can take advantage of this buyer's market as well. So try to be a strategic investor rather than a momentum investor. I think that is one point I just wanted to add.
One point, very important point. And one more thing I want to add up here is don't be very pessimistic.
Exactly.
If you expect an apartment which is 6,000 per square feet to become 3,000 per square feet, it's not going to happen.
Oh, that's definitely not going to happen.
Okay. So if you are thinking that prices will reduce, no one will reduce prices.
No. See, there's just something I want to add. You have to be very, very cautious about someone who is reducing prices.
Very cautious
Because it means that that company is about to collapse. Okay, so if somebody is telling you that I have reduced prices by 2000 rupees or 3000 rupees per square yard, please come and buy, it is not going to be a sector-wide trend, and that particular actor you have to watch very carefully, because that is a company that is in stress, and it is possible that they will not execute the project.
Definitely, they cannot deliver. They don't have funds to execute. Yeah.
They are just trying to liquidate and run away. Okay, so be very cautious about those who are trying to tell you that they have reduced prices. Companies which have a brand name, or companies which have good foundations and good balance sheets, they are not going to reduce prices, and ultimately these are the companies that will deliver the end product to you.
Very true. So for example, recently Prestige City, one of my friend, very close friend Shiva works there. He's a sales head there. So he said that I think close to 1,000 plus apartments they have sold in just few months.
Correct.
Okay, and price is not cheap, 6,500 rupees per square feet. I think that's the current price, and it's somewhere in Shamshabad. So as you said, good brands. Good brand, and then people trust. If they feel that he will deliver, they are investing. People are investing.
Correct.
Yeah. And one more last point to address here, very important point to tell here is, don't be optimistic, don't be pessimistic, but be realistic.
Right.
To be realistic, you have to watch all the data points we have discussed, and based on the data points, if you are a serious investor, only then you will look for that points.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will end up commenting one paragraph in a negative way. So that's what eventually will happen.
Yeah.
And we'll see that comment and laugh.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do eventually. Right. So I hope this video helps you. I'll see you in a new video. Thank you, Vikram, again. Thank you guys. Thank you so much.